Welcome to Whiteboard Wednesday. I know it's a bit old school, but I make no apology. It just helps me think and I can scribble out on it. So today, carbohydrates. Oh my God, if anything has got, or anything has been the devil's spawn in the history of human health, wellness and nutrition, it's got to be the poor carbo. We've had the low fat hypothesis, we've had the low carb hypothesis, we've had keto, and the baddie on the stage is always the poor carbohydrate, isn't it? But despite what anybody may tell you, anthropologists and historians will always tell you that there were as many hunter-gatherer tribes that thrived on yams and root vegetables and plants and tubers as there were that thrived on meat, fat and seals and stuff like the Inuit. It's always been a part of our diet. And apart from protein, i.e. anything with an I, or for the vegetarians, sort of soya, pea protein, etc., and anything with fat, every other food in the world pretty much is a carbohydrate. I've done a little scale here. You can see on the right hand side I've got sugar going all the way through what the BBC love to call their beige carbohydrates, all the breads, pastas, potatoes, and going on to the fibrous stuff, okay, leafy veg and stuff. So you basically got three types of carbohydrate: sugar, starch and fibre, although they're all a little bit of a mesh of each. And the way I always like to think of them is a chain. I got this lovely prop. So at one end you've got sort of honey and sugar, which is a couple of chains, a couple of cells if you like, and they can rapidly go through their body and rapidly give us energy. And as you get longer and longer and the chain gets longer, you get up towards the whole fruits and you get towards, you know, sultanas, raisins, then you come up through to rice, pasta, bread, and all of those starchy foodstuffs. And then eventually you're coming right the way through the other vegetables, right the way through carrots, all the way onto leafy veg. And you've got a nice big bundle of molecules. God, I suddenly feel like David Bellamy. And you've got this really complicated, lovely cell that the body loves because it's got fibre and starch as well, but also it goes through the body slowly and keeps that insulin from peaking. So please don't see it as the devil. I think I'm happy to hold my hand up and say I've demonized the carbo. And I've often said, oh my God, you know, just get away from having toast and yogurt and porridge from breakfast. But one of the honest reasons is we all need so much protein, and I'll do that in another vlog, that having breakfast just of carbos misses an opportunity to take protein on board and makes the rest of the day really hard to catch up. But I don't hate or demonize them in their own way. I think there is a set of carbos that have become monstrously bad for us, but they're not bad in their own rights. I'm talking about man's propensity to mash up wheat and corn into a very fine flour and mix it up with fat and sugar, and that makes obviously donuts and pastries and all this stuff that you predominantly see down the high street that you pig out for lunch. And there's nothing wrong with it at all. I always have a cake, always have a donut at the weekends, but when you normalize this type of food stuff, it's not great. It signals to a complicated part of our brain that some people call the lipostat, but that's a posh word for all of the, you know, the leptin and all the stuff that's going into our brain that signals to us when we're full or not. And these sorts of refined wheats and sugars trick our brain into thinking we want more food. And that's why the carb has been painted as evil. But like people like to say, everything in moderation. It's a statement I absolutely hate, because what is moderation? But all I'm saying is if you can drive to the left as much as possible and then treat yourself to a cake as a treat rather than a lifestyle, then carbos are the fuel of life. They're not baddies. Thanks for listening.